everyone, good morning. Thanks for joining today. I'm going to give it just a couple more minutes for folks to trickle in. If you want, throw a quick intro in the chat, where you're calling in from. Would love to hear from you all. My name is Meg. I work on the customer success team here at Scribe, and I've been with Scribe almost 2.5 years now, and I'm based out of the Salt Lake City, Utah area. So I'm excited to walk through Scribe, show you some tips and tricks and best practices for how to use the tool. This is our 101 session, so it's kind of designed towards an intro to the tool for new creators. We do offer a second webinar series as well called Scribe Spotlight, which will dive further into depth into some of these more advanced features for you all. As folks are joining, wonderful, Tiffany. We haven't gotten much snow here yet, so I'm jealous, honestly. Gonna launch a couple quick polls here just to see how experienced folks are with Scribe so far. Again, we'll start from the basics, so if you are completely new, that's fine. If you have, if you've played around a bit and tested things out, that's great. Okay, some folks have created things already, logged in. Awesome, perfect. All right. And then one more quick poll just to see kind of your um, preference for this webinar. I will send a recording after the session, but would love to know if you all want this to be more of a working session where you get to kind of test things out as we go. If so, I'll slow it down. If not, I'll kind of run through a demo of the platform, an overview, and then I'll send you all the recording after the call so you can refer back to it as well. Okay, perfect. Awesome. Thanks everyone for the intros. Great. All right, well, let's jump in. I do want to make sure this is the most valuable use of time as well, so continue to throw any questions in the chat. We love to hear feedback, so any feedback that's coming up as we walk through it, you can also use the Q&A function as well, and I'll be sure to get to those. Okay, so really quickly, just brief introduction into kind of what Scribe is and what we're hoping to accomplish. I know a lot of you have already kind of logged in and tested things out, but for those who are newer, the main kind of thing that Scribe is trying to solve, right, the thing that we hear over and over again from all different teams and organizations is that the way knowledge is transferred today is fundamentally broken. So a lot of this critical know-how is trapped in team members' heads and your all's heads as the subject matter experts because documentation is extremely manual and painful to create. And so as a result, people can't get access to the resources they need and they can't do their best work. So we typically see these pain points pop up across different areas of the business, your people, your tooling, even your customers as well. Maybe some of these resonate with you. A lot of times people will, purchase Scribe for one specific use case or project, but there really are so many different ways that you can leverage the tool. You might be asking, like, how does Scribe actually solve these issues? Well, Scribe is a AI platform that's going to help you automatically document and scale how work gets done. So I feel we're really well known for this document faster piece. It's going to automate your SOP and training guide creation. Typically, something that might have taken like an hour previously of manual screenshotting and typing can take less than 15 minutes. But the downstream effects here as well, helping people self-serve information and ensuring that the work gets done with a higher degree of accuracy. So let's just jump right into a demo. I'll open my workspace as well. Before I jump into the demo, if you haven't already, I'm just going to drop a couple of links into the chat. You'll need to download the Scribe desktop application and then either the Chrome or Edge extension, depending on what browser you use. So there's kind of two main ways to record content with Scribe. The desktop version is going to record anywhere on your screen. It's kind of like when you screen share with Zoom, you can select the right window or your full screen or different monitors. And it can record locally installed applications. The browser extension, which I'll demo today, only stays within the browser. It can follow you between multiple tabs and systems, but if you jump outside of the web, it won't be able to record there. So I'm going to create a really quick scribe on Zoom. This is super simple and a quick, teach somebody how to change a quick setting. You can create much longer, more complex training guides as well, and I will walk through some best practices there. Just gonna, excuse me, change my team here, ignore all of those demo instances. So the way you record content with Scribe, again, I'm demoing the extension here, but once you have the desktop app installed, the functionality is largely the same. I would highly suggest pinning it to your toolbar here. And so whatever application you're on, you can just open this Scribe extension here, and then you'll click Start Capture to start recording your screen. So you'll see on the side here, Scribe is capturing my screen now. And really all I need to do is just go through my work as I normally would. So I'm going to go through, again, maybe teach somebody how to customize that waiting room layout, to upload a video. Everything that I click on the page, Scribe takes a screenshot as soon as I click. And then it's also pulling in this different kind of information, as much detail about what I'm clicking on and doing on the screen as well. Couple quick things I want to call out while you're capturing. So you can at any time pause this capture. Let's say you want to go do some other work. That's completely fine. You can delete the steps directly here as you're recording as well. So a lot of people are like, whoa, I clicked 10 extra times, made a mistake. That's completely fine. It's super easy to go back and clean things up or clean things up as you go. And then one really cool feature I love to point out is this voice transcription toggle down here. So what this will do is when this is turned on, you can speak into your microphone, whatever detail, context, additional instruction that you want to be associated with these screenshots here. So instead of just click here or like click this button name, you could add in all of the additional details there as you go, and it will save you some time from manually editing the scribe later on. I'll just demo this super quickly so you all get the idea. Click Cancel to navigate back to your settings menu. Click Audio Conferencing in the top navigation panel. Click Third Party Audio and toggle on this feature. Click Enable to enable this feature. You get the idea, right? Like I could go on, I could do much more in-depth instruction, but it turns it into this really nice caption for me, whatever I want to speak into my microphone. We'll come back to this smart blur feature in just a little bit. Scribe has several layers of redaction to make sure that you're not recording sensitive data or PII. So I'll touch on that a bit later, and then you can delete the capture at any time. But for today, I'm just going to go ahead and complete now. And you'll see here in, 3 minutes it took me to walk through this process. I now have a really nice step-by-step guide with all the screenshots. It's highlighted, again, this click target highlights everywhere that I click on the page, and then I can go back, add additional detail, customize all of this, and tailor it for my needs. Just gonna pause here for 1 second. Any questions about recording Scribe's desktop versus the browser extension, or even just what Scribe can be used for? For those folks who haven't had a chance to play around yet, hopefully this is pretty straightforward, but let me know. Okay, wonderful. So now in the editing and yeah, it's super nice, saves me a ton of time. In the editing and customization phase, there's really so much that you can do to customize this for your needs. So a couple things I'll call out, right? This title is editable, typically tends to pull in pretty accurate based on what you've actually done, but you can edit this as you need. You can also add a description here to the scribe, and you can either do this using AI or you can generate one manually. Tends to be nice just to have a little bit of extra context for your viewer as well. And then this logo is going to pull in based on whatever domain that you just recorded on. So this knew it was on Zoom, right? So it's pulled in the Zoom logo. If I wanted to change this, I can type in a different domain and pull in any of these other logos that are here. And one thing I love to call out here is like you can actually upload your own company logo and brand your scribes with your own logo. Basically, all you would need to do is record a quick scribe on your website. It can just be like a dummy version, right? Just click around a couple times. It'll pull in your logo and then it will save it here in kind of like this repository. And then you can search for that for any future content and make them look really nice and branded. Anywhere throughout the scribe, you'll see these screenshots. You can click next to the step number to edit in bulk or delete in bulk if you needed to. Again, this scribe is only 12 steps long. One tip that I like to share with people too, like if I have a 200 step long scribe and I want to select steps 1 through 50, you can checkbox the first one, hold down shift, and then checkbox the last one, and that will help you select in bulk. Um, but you can do things like move these around, copy the steps, delete them all together. Scribe makes it super easy to go back and maintain documentation as well. Anywhere throughout the scribe, you'll see this little plus icon here. So between every single step, this is the manual kind of editing bar. You could add in a manual step if you want. You could even drag and drop like an existing screenshot here. Tips and alerts are great call outs for your viewers for really specific information. You don't want them to miss, right? Sometimes you can also drag steps just like this. Oh my gosh. There we go. Sometimes I like to start off my scribes with just a quick tip. Make sure you have an active Zoom license. If not, contact support. And anywhere throughout, like any caption, any step here, you have a really, really generous character limit. It's something like 8,000 characters. So feel free to add in as much context as needed. If you highlight here, you'll be able to do, oops, where's the menu? There we go. Bold, italics. You could even hyperlink, right? Like an existing prerequisite scribe or resource that the person should reference before they go through this procedure. Um, so you can add in all of that detail there as well. Next feature, capture. So what I love about Scribe is like not only did it take me just 3 minutes to create this guide in the first place, but inevitably the UI will change or the process will be out of date. And this is really important if you have like 100-step long Scribe, right? So Scribe makes it super easy on like a PDF or Word doc where you can just go in and go plus and capture and insert additional updated steps directly in that place. So makes it super easy just to keep your documentation fresh and up to date. And then the next feature, I love, love, love this feature for, again, longer, more complex SOPs or guides. It's the header feature. So anywhere throughout your scribe, you can basically break it up into multiple sections, make it a little bit easier to digest, make it a little bit easier to navigate as well. These are just some settings. Maybe we'll do upload waiting room video. And again, anytime I have like over 50 steps, I will definitely add in headers just to make it a little bit more organized. You'll see once I click that done editing and I'm out of that edit panel, it creates this little table of contents here. So I can zoom to the right portion of the scribe, find the material I need. I could even just hyperlink that specific section to somebody and share it with them. So another thing we hear a lot is like, maybe not all procedures are quite so linear. It might not be A to Z, right? You might want to call out different steps depending on the user's permission level, for example. Headers are a great way to do that. You can kind of call out different pathways even. If you've completed steps 1 through 10, jump to section C or something like that, and kind of route people to the right information depending on different variables. Okay, perfect. The last feature here, kind of a fun one, you can add in GIFs. I love to end Scribe with a GIF just to make it a little bit more fun and engaging. Um, and then the next big editing bucket I want to call out is in the screenshots themselves. So every screenshot will have this little pencil icon in the top right-hand corner. And this will allow you to do really anything you can imagine with like a rich screenshot editor, right? I can go in and crop if I needed to. I can add in additional annotations. So maybe, instead of this click target, I actually want to do an arrow, or I want to do a filled rectangle here. You can kind of customize this to your needs and make sure you're calling out all the right information. And then if you click this click target down here, you can move this around, right? You're not locked into this. You could even delete it altogether if you don't want that to be like the call out action point. All right, and then redaction. So I spoke about like there's multiple kind of layers of redaction on all of our enterprise plans. So this is kind of like the third bottom tier. This is manual redaction, right? On any screenshot, you can just drag and drop this tool here to go ahead and purge information and make sure it's not visible. So you can go through your screenshots there. The second level of redaction is going to be while you're recording. So that would be that feature we saw earlier here. Um, this little kind of square icon, it's called Smart Blur. And what this allows you to do is go in and blur specific information, right? You have these set data fields here. I can also be really granular and do this choose others and hover over a specific section of the page or a specific field in my system or tool. And then Scribe will look for that on every page, right? It will redact it for you and make sure that that information is not captured throughout. And then the top kind of level of redaction is set at the global setting. So whoever has system admin access for your account would be able to configure this. A lot of times it's set up for things like credit card, social security, passport, PII that should just never ever be captured or shared. Um, and this is really restrictive, being that like it will redact it as you go in the background, and it will never save that information in the first place. So it won't be stored anywhere on our servers. You can't pull that information back into the image. So if you're seeing on your scribes like they're really heavily over redacted, or you're noticing PII that is really sensitive and should be redacted at that global level, reach out to your system admin. They can kind of toggle through it and find the right level of privacy and visibility. Question in the chat. Thank you so much. Can you add additional comments in an image? Yeah, you absolutely can. So under the image editor and then annotate here, you have this text icon. So if I wanted to, you have some control over font and size here. If you wanted to add in comments or callouts in the actual image, you could do that as well. Gonna pause here just for a moment. Any questions around editing, customization, any features you would expect to see here that we haven't covered? Okay, perfect. I know some people might need just a little bit more time to play around, which is completely fine. Do reach out once you've got a chance to create a couple of scribes and let us know your feedback, what's working well, what you wish you could have. Like we love to hear from users. Perfect. Before we jump into sharing, I just want to call out one or two other quick little features that I love. So on the side here under customize, you can select like the certain data that's shown here. So if I don't want my author name to be included in the scribe, I could toggle that on or off. The click target color is customizable, and you could even do this as like a custom hex code. So if your company has specific branding, you could do that, and that's sticky, so it'll apply to every future scribe you create. Commenting as well. So once you have a draft going and you want to get some feedback from other members on your team, anywhere throughout the scribe, any step, you're able to leave a comment, even tag other folks on your team. Whoops. Um, you can tag other people who have a license with Scribe, right? So they would have to be in your instance, another creator, but you could notify them, have them go in, give you feedback, and then kind of put those suggestions into your Scribe. And then this sparkle icon up here, excuse me, is called Improve Workflow with AI. I probably should have shown this at the beginning before I started to edit, but this is a relatively new feature with Scribe. I absolutely love it. What it basically does is give your actual workflow, so the process that you actually went through, it gives it an efficiency score. And it shows you suggestions for how you could potentially make this, make your procedure even more streamlined and efficient, right? So meeting templates, um, you could do a Zoom API, for example, right? And if any of these sound like something you might want to implement or look into, you could do save and then also show me how, right? And it will go through step by step what you would need to do here. I find this really, really helpful for like Excel workflows, or if I'm in Google Sheets, it will show me additional formulas I could use or just best practices. Um, and then I can choose whether or not to implement that in the future. Okay, perfect. Once my scribe is fully ready to go, you'll see this unpublished changes here, right? So in any scribe, you have the ability to work in kind of like a draft mode and then formally publish the next version. So I'll just say this is December 4th. Once I publish this, this becomes kind of the live version of the scribe now, so you can see all the edits that I made. If I did need to go in and look at previous versions here, I have this three-dot menu and then version history where I could go back and see, you know, what this previously was. I could restore to a previous version as well, and this gives you tracking changes for like who made edits when. Okay, perfect. So sharing your scribes. There are a couple of different ways to actually distribute content with Scribe. One option, right, you would just share this link with somebody else, copy and share a hyperlink, super easy. The hyperlink will reflect whatever permissions you've set in this drop-down menu here. Um, so this is a lot like Google Docs, right? You can move something to not shared. That means it's only visible to me as the creator in my private folder in Scribe, right? I could add one or two individual collaborators from my Scribe team if I wanted to just give them access. Um, or I can move this to my entire Scribe team can edit. So Sam Journal is my Scribe team. If you have one of our plans where you can have like multiple workspaces all on the enterprise instance, this would be just like sharing with your department or sharing with your direct teammates. And then this third level is going to be everybody in the Scribe enterprise instance, right? So anybody who has a Scribe license, if your organization purchased one of our plans with viewer licenses, this would be available to anyone with a viewer license, essentially like locking it down to only employees. And then anyone with the link can view. This is, really easy way to share content if you need to share externally or just with unlicensed folks in your organization. This doesn't put the scribe on Google. It's not searchable. People can't just like find this on the internet, but it is a public URL. So if you copy and share this with somebody, they wouldn't have to log in or authenticate to view. Perfect. And then we have the smart embed feature as well. So I love this. A lot of our customers use this to share content. It's compatible with any system or tool that will accept an iframe. So SharePoint, Zendesk, HubSpot, Salesforce Knowledge, Confluence, dozens of different tools. And you can embed the scribe directly in those systems where people might already go for information. So I like to show we have a demo Notion instance, and just so you can see how it looks in action here. Um, we have three kind of different viewing modes, right? So you have this slideshow version, You have the scrolling version, like it looks, in the Scribe dashboard. And then you have this movie mode option as well, which will actually come with a AI voiceover of all the captions. So if your team is an audio learner, they might benefit from a more engaging format here. You can embed as a movie, and I'll just play this really quickly.
This guide will show you how to find your LinkedIn username. Go to this link. Click the Me dropdown. Click View Profile.
So super easy, a little bit more engaging, right? Nothing you need to do to turn it into a movie. You would just kind of select this view and then copy that embed code into whatever system or tool. If you have a specific tool that you're working with and you'd be curious how Scribe integrates, we probably have a Scribe on it. So feel free to reach out via email or just throw it in the chat and I can include that after the session as well. And then just to point out, like you do have the direct export option. So if you needed to export a PDF or Word doc, HTML format, you have those options here. The reason I would really, really highly recommend the Smart Embed or the link is that they are dynamic, right? So whenever this process changes and you go to publish the updated version, automatically reflects on whoever has the link or wherever the scribe is embedded so that you get that information and make sure nobody's looking at outdated, incorrect information. I'm going to pause here just for a second. Any questions around sharing, permission levels? Any thoughts there? Okay, perfect. All right, the last feature I want to cover, and I know we only have a couple of minutes, so I will share more resources on this after the call as well. But we have a second type of content with Scribe, which sometimes people don't always see. It's going to be new, and then create a page here. I'll just show you a little bit of an example of what a page is and how it could be used. Um, so let's do this page here. A page is kind of like a higher level manual, right? It's, if you think of the scribe as the individual recipe, the page would be like an entire cookbook. So an FAQ, a system guide. There's so many different use cases, but basically it allows you to build out, you can do headers, subheaders, you can embed other types of media like a Loom recording, YouTube video, Visio chart. Other media there, and then you can embed multiple of these scribes all in one place. So a lot of people will create a page, right? If I have a scribe that's like over 100, definitely over 200 steps, I will usually just break it out into multiple parts and then put them all in a page here as well. And this entire thing could be embedded again into your other tooling. The share permissions and everything is the same. And you can customize this background color and do some branding there as well to make it look really tailored to your brand identity. So new, create a page. I will share some resources on this because I know we're running out of time here a bit. You can prompt it with AI and just have it draft that skeleton draft for you, or you could create an empty page. It's kind of like a Google Doc and just draft it from scratch. So I'll share some resources on this. Play around with it. Let us know what you think. Again, here's the background colors. You could do solid colors and again, a hex code or something that's specific to your brand identity. Okay, I know we're at time. I hope this was helpful. Are there any last questions? Any feedback? Wonderful. Thank you so much. There will be a short survey after this, so please let us know like ways we can make this session better. We'd love to hear from you. And again, I'll send you the sign up page for our other type of webinar if you want to join us for one of those more advanced features. Thanks everyone so much. Appreciate it. Have a great rest of the week and a great weekend. Take care.